So the Champions League is done and dusted, at least for the group stage, and there's going to be a very exciting draw where there's going to be some huge games that are going to take place. We're going to go through who the English clubs and who everyone else could get in the Champions League draw, but just to say, the draw will be live on the Ball Street channel.
Yes, it will.
We've got Rory, we've got, I think it's Steve Howson's going to be on it, we've got Flav, and we've got a steam company, is the Man City representative, and of course Red Men, who are going to be there watching the draw live. You're not going to want to miss that, so hit that subscribe button so that you get that notification when we go live on Monday when the draw is taking place.
Yep.
Let's get to the back pages, where the main story, of course, is how well Liverpool played in what should have been a tense game for them. If we look at the back page of the Express, but you can pick most of the back pages today, you can see Liverpool players smiling with giant smiles, which I know makes you feel very happy.
I mean, 7-0, you've got to give it to them. As much as I want to berate them, 7-0 in a game where a lot of fans were nervous about what could happen if Spartak scored an early goal, and it was just a devastating display of attacking talent. What
you saw there was a team without fear, and what we were wondering yesterday on News at 10 would Jurgen Klopp's philosophy of going all or nothing, going for it, would it pay off? I'll tell you what, it really did.
I think it did.
Back page of the Express, Reds fill their boots. Coutinho, of course, scored a hat-trick last night. You've also got Spurs and Man City, who are already through. Spurs with more points in the group stage than any other team, which is an incredible achievement considering...
Given that group,
Llorente getting his first goal, great for them. And Man City losing their first game in 20
Shame.
For everyone.
Shame.
It's actually a joyful thing because they are beatable. That's a great thing. Obviously, it was a weakened side, but as a Man United fan, you've got to be delighted with that.
I mean, it's the perfect way going into the derby. We played at home a comfortable win, I say comfortable, 2-1 against Moscow. City travelled away to Ukraine and lost their unbeaten run, so you've got to be happy with that, right?
Yeah. Back page of The Guardian, same thing. Mersey, Paradise, 7-goal. Reds storm into the last 16. We've got a little poll going up there that's asking, is this the best LFC side ever? The reason I am saying that is because one of your very own, Paul from the Red Men TV, was saying exactly that after last night's game. Let's have a look at a quick clip where he's talking about last night's win.
The way we attack is just absolutely out of this world. Maybe I'm just caught up in the emotion of it, but I think this might be the best Liverpool side I've ever seen. And you know, I'm lucky enough to be just about old enough to remember us winning the last league title, to be here when we lifted it as well. But you know, I've seen great Liverpool sides. I've experienced, I've witnessed them with my own eyes. I still don't think this is as good as this side can play. I think this side can play better than this, and that is frankly terrifying. Not for me, for everyone who has to come and try and take points off us. It is terrifying for them. Sam Allardyce decided to send his B team off for the Europa League game so he could sit at home and prepare. Sam Allardyce is sitting at home watching this match, and he's basically pooing his...
He's a very happy boy, and if you watch Chris, his post-match reaction to it, again, they were almost in awe of how good they were as an attacking inside. And you've got to be so excited as a Liverpool fan that, of course, there are moments where the defence does let them down, but that team can destroy, and I mean that word, destroy any team when they want to, when it clicks, when it comes in, goes into gear.
There's a comment here from, where is his name? McLaren Nimbus saying, best Liverpool side ever, fucking state of it. And look, to be honest, the team that nearly won the league, that still had Gerrard in, that had Suarez in, that had Sterling, that had Sturridge, that was more frightening than what we've seen right now, because we all know that Liverpool, if they play a team that can attack and it gets in their half, they're a completely different team. But going forward, they're frightening. Everybody can see that.
Well, keep voting. Let us know. We'll have a look at that right at the end of the show. Back page of the Times, a couple of other stories. You've got quite a trivial one regarding Jack Wilshere and Arsene Wenger, which you wouldn't expect to see on the Times. Wenger's not happy that Jack Wilshere went ice skating, which I can understand. He's a footballer who's known for having dodgy ankles. Wilshere he posted something online, and Wenger's not happy, saying, you can go ice skating, but just watch from the side and go with your kid. That is a bizarre...
You wanted to ice skate? What's wrong with that?
Well, that's a bizarre story, but I tell you, it's really dumb if you're Jack Wilshere and you played 65 minutes in the league this season and you want to start playing some football. Maybe don't go.
There's one little story on the back page at Times as well that made me laugh. So Man City has signed a deal with Amazon to do a behind-the-scenes exclusive documentary. About £30 million, I think Amazon paid. And City have requested United that Amazon's cameras be allowed into the tunnel at Old Trafford and the away dressing room. And United, no chance, you're not coming in. So the mind games have already started in the Manchester derby, and you want to see that. Stop that, go away.
I think I get that. If I was a Man United fan, and I would go, of course not. I don't want to get anywhere near us.
Exactly.
And anything that we can do to make your life a little bit more uncomfortable,
we're going to do.
You should be doing it. Yes. Right.
Speaking of uncomfortable situations, I tell you what, some of these English teams, so obviously all 5 English teams made it into the Champions League knockout stage. 4 as group winners. Chelsea were the only team not to win their group. Everybody has got some potential tough draws. What we're going to do is run through chronologically through the groups, all the teams that we could get, or everybody could get in the Champions League knockout stage. Starting with Manchester United. Now we could get Bayern Munich. We won the group, remember. So typically, when you win a Champions League group, you put yourselves in a stronger position to hopefully get an easier game in the round of 16 and avoid the big teams. But Man United can draw Bayern Munich, Juventus, Sevilla, Shakhtar Donetsk, Porto, and Real Madrid. Thank you very much, Tottenham Hotspur. Looking at that from a selfish perspective, because I really want to go to this game, so I want to go to Seville or Porto. I don't think Jose Mourinho would lose against Porto. Real Madrid are not the team they were, but it's still Real Madrid. I think the toughest game there is probably Bayern Munich. Maybe Real Madrid, one of the two. Let us know what you think in the comments there.
Yeah, who do you want? Who do you not want to play in the next round?
If you're a fan of any of these clubs, let us know who you support and who is your dream draw and nightmare draw. For Chelsea, it's quite simple. There's 2 teams they don't want to play. There's 1 team they do want to play. They've got 3 potential opponents. Because Chelsea finished second, you can see all the other teams have got a lot of opponents. Because they finished second, they can't face any of the English teams who all won their group. Hence why they can only play PSG, the highest scoring team in the group stage. Second, Liverpool was second to be fair. Barcelona and Besiktas. I mean, it's quite clear who Chelsea want. And
Besiktas, yeah, of course.
But again, if you're a Chelsea fan, who's the worst draw there, PSG or Barcelona? What do you think?
Well, I would say they've paid. I mean, it's got to be PSG with the amount of players that they've got, the incredible players that they've got. Neymar moving forward, moving that team forward a couple of levels. It's probably PSG. But Bayern Munich have been there and done it. Got so many incredible experienced players.
And Barcelona.
Either way, yeah, Jesus. Either way, I mean, I'm happy. I'm happy as a QPR fan. I'm quite pleased that Chelsea are going to probably have an absolute stinker of a draw. But look, Chelsea are a crack inside. And so they can go and beat any team themselves. Atletico Madrid didn't make it out of that group. That is an incredible statement in itself.
It's very true.
Especially after last season, how well they did.
Now, Liverpool last night topped the group 7-0. Obviously, we've talked about that already. Let's not talk about that anymore. Here are Liverpool's potential opponents with Basel, who beat United in the group stage. Bayern Munich, Juventus, Shakhtar, Porto, and Real Madrid. So a lot of the similar draws that United could get, Liverpool could get as well. So Liverpool fans, let us know who is your dream and your nightmare draw there. Dream, I think, probably on paper is quite simple. Basel, out of all of those, you're looking for probably the simplest on paper, but sometimes that can lead to complacency from some teams at this stage in the Champions League. But
there's always one team that will cause a surprise in that last 16, is it?
Yeah.
And I think Shakhtar Donetsk could be that side. From watching yesterday against Man City, they do look like a cracky little side. They've got some great little players. Bernard it was someone who a lot of Premier League clubs were looking for. I think Liverpool were after him a couple of seasons ago. He scored an absolute belter of a goal. They've got a lot of players there with some real quality. So Shakhtar Donetsk, even those guys are
Plus
not,
remember that if you're playing Shakhtar Donetsk, you've got to go to Ukraine, and it is the longest trip I think out of anywhere on here by some margin as well.
Let's have a look at what you're saying here. I'm not going to say his name, but he knows who he is. Liverpool, I want to dick Madrid in the face. Bob Jim, Real are better than Bayern Munich. Joseph, I'm a Bayern fan. I want to draw Roma as they can really defend against a quick start.
Got one from Jono Vandenberg there saying, for Liverpool, I'd be confident against anyone apart from Real Madrid. Bayern and Juve are great, but don't fill me with fear and definitely have vulnerabilities.
And Hiram Roberts, have a feeling LFC will draw Real Madrid. I hope English clubs smash Bayern and Madrid, says DRK Two-Face. Give us Madrid. A lot of people wanting Madrid. Liverpool's worst draw would be Juventus, says Superfly03. An Italian side who knows how to defend and could exploit the defensive weaknesses of their opponents. They also shout out Barca last year. Great point.
Very good point. Moving on to Man City as well. They won their group. They did lose away to Shakhtar Donetsk, but they had already clean through. So it was a nothing game as far as City are concerned. Hence why they played Phil Foden. Shout out to Phil Foden. He's 17. The kid, I saw him in the pre-season, and you think, wow, that kid's really good. And Pep is bringing him through. I think he played at left back, and he's not a left back at all, or left wing back. The kid's got great potential. Really, they may have lost, but yeah, shout out Foden. City, you can draw the exact same as I think Liverpool and United. Basel, Bayern, Juventus, Sevilla, Porto and Real Madrid. On paper there, I think we all want them to get Real Madrid, so it's Guardiola back at Real Madrid. I think that'll be quite fun. You want that? I think City and PSG, for me on paper, the two strongest teams in the Champions League this year. I don't want to say that, but I really think it is. What do you reckon?
I think for Man City, I think they shouldn't be afraid of anyone, and I think they should almost kind of want a tough draw to a point, because I think they've got an opportunity here to really put a marker down and go, yes, of course, we've been pretty dominant in the Premier League for a long time, but in the Champions League, they've got to that semi-final, but they were well out of their depth once they got to it against Real Madrid's side and went on to win it. But I think they've got a real opportunity with the confidence that they've got, how well they're playing, to go into any game in the last 16 and really pump someone and put down a marker.
I mean, hopefully they don't, but you never know, all right? Spurs, now they won their group, so well done to Spurs. You know, that was the group of death. Dortmund, Real Madrid and Spurs, and they topped it.
Massive achievement, absolutely
really
massive achievement. And you kind of wondered, Apoel, would they be able to beat them? But Llorente looked great. Son scoring.
But his first goal as well. So Llorente's
great goal. And also a great setup for Son and his goal, which was your standard Son goal, edge of the box, great little finish in the bottom corner, which he's done so many times.
He's a good little player.
So great, incredible for Spurs. I think everyone talks about the small club mentality with Spurs when they get to this Champions League and playing against these kind of teams. They have beaten some incredible sides that are completely established in the Champions League. Yeah. That needs to wash away that kind of feeling that Spurs aren't good enough in the Champions League. And they can do whatever they like in this tournament.
I think what Spurs need to do is get past this round of 16 for it to really lay a marker down. Otherwise, they just had a good group stage and it eventually folded at the round of 16. But their potential opponents, Basel, Bayern Munich, Juventus, Sevilla, Shakhtar and Porto. Again, on paper, Tottenham, you're going to be wanting Basel. And you're probably, I don't know, who would be the toughest? Maybe Juventus, that could be a bit of against the Pochettino side, against a proper Italian team, that could be a real stalemate maybe.
Something isn't right for me at Juventus. I don't know what's going on there. They're not dominating the league like they have done in the past. They've lost a couple of players. I wouldn't be too afraid of playing Juventus. I think they can be got at. And I think Juventus, despite, you see that name and you're a bit worried, but I don't think they're the worst side that you could get in that. I think you'd be quite happy with that.
I do think the Juventus side of a couple of years ago that had Pogba in, that got to the final and lost to Barcelona and Neymar, I think that was a better team than what they've got now, but they've still got a hell of a lot of good players in there. But as you can see, the English teams may have topped their groups, 4 out of 5 of them, but there's some seriously potential tough draws coming up in the round of 16. But one thing that's great is English teams are back in the Champions League and looking very, very good, because it's been, I don't know, as we said previously, there was that 4 or 5 year period from bless you Adam, 4 or 5 year period from about 2006 when Arsenal got to the final, 2007-8 United won it, then we went through to a couple of finals, got pumped by Guardiola's Barcelona, Chelsea won it, Liverpool got to the semis as well, I think in 2000, I don't know when that was, 2013? Probably not. Anyway, around then.
We were good for a while.
We could go for a while, but the problem is, since then, in the last couple of years, English teams have just been on the down a little bit in terms of European football. This is a real statement that 4 out of 5 topped their groups.
I think it's also highlighting with the dominance and some ridiculous scorelines, the amount of money and how the way that we'll put it as an end card in this video. We explained how the Champions League money is distributed, and what you're seeing here is the big teams are getting even bigger, and there is becoming this giant gap between the best and the rest, which you can look at it two ways. It's nice to see English teams doing well, but the scary thing with that is that you're seeing that there's so much money in the Premier League that they're starting to dominate. Is that fair or not? Let us know. Going to the poll that I put up today. 1, is this the best LFC side you've ever seen? 46% saying yes, 53% saying no. So I think they agree with you, Sam, on that one. And who will go furthest out of the English Premier League clubs? And they've gone with believe it or not, Liverpool.
Really?
7-0, the guys are like, they're drunk on success. I understand that, and that's fine. Why not? In second place, Man City with 28%. You can keep voting on that poll if you want to change that. Spurs with 4%. So we need to maybe get a few more Spurs subscribers. So if you're a Spurs fan watching this, then
make sure you subscribe.
Make sure you subscribe.
Clearly, Spurs need a
finally,
little bit of
one
support.
comment I want to read. Joseph Maroon, QPR will win the Champions League. That's the kind of optimism that we need in our lives. QPR will win the Champions League one day. I completely agree.
Just like England will win the World Cup in the next 20 years, James.
That's going to happen.
That's going to happen as well.
We've seen it. We've seen it already. Keep letting us know in the comments who you want to play, who's your dream draw, who is the nightmare for you, and what does your gut say? Who do you think you're going to get in the next round? Do not miss One for the Weekend podcast on the Ball Street channel. And also don't miss Pep versus Jose, which is a doc that's going out tomorrow.
Really
Most importantly, on Monday, you don't want to miss the draw. I think it's at around 11.
It starts at 11, but you know what they're like with the balls take a long time.
But that was odd. The guys are going to be there in Liverpool. It's going to be a cracking live stream, so don't miss that. If you don't want to miss that, hit subscribe, hit the like button. We'll see you soon.